Good morning. I hope everybody is having a good Wednesday. And today I want to talk about the H2 that I've been seeing people want to use. So, I know that there's been some advice out there that you should have above your image in all of your posts a header, an H2 header specifically, and that this is good for SEO, and that you want some text because search engines don't read images yet, which is all true. So, but I've seen a lot of people do it incorrectly, and I think it matters because you will have to go back in the future. When it starts to matter, you're going to have to go back and redo it, which will be a pain in the butt to redo all of your posts. So, SEO is important, and having text and basically a context so that the search engines know what your post is about is very important. And it's true, these big gorgeous images that are all over our blogs aren't great for SEO, so it's really important that the search engine knows what your post is about. Okay? Now, so then that's where the idea of having text above the photo came into play. So yes, you do need to have text above the photo, if at all possible. You don't need to, but we're talking about best practices here and how to optimize your posts, especially the most popular posts on your blog, for search engines and also for readers. So instead of having a big picture as soon as you load the page, you can have some nice an introduction to grab their attention and bring them in to read, to interact with the post, and to know that they're in the right place. As the saying goes, you have 3 seconds to let people know if they're in the right place. So, that being said, there's something else that comes into play. So we want to have text above the photo. The other thing is that we want to have headers throughout our post because that's best practices for dividing up your content. Because online we want to be able to scan. I want to be able to pick up the quick points. If it intrigues me, I'll read further and read every word. But most of the time, and I think if we're honest, most of us will just skim to see if there's something interesting or usable there for us. So we need to have our posts broken up. We need to have headers, which are like chapter titles. So using like a chapter title in between different sections of our post. Now the top, your book title, your post title, is an H1 header. That's the most important one. After that would be like your chapter titles, and those are H2 headers. And then the sections within your chapter would be H3, and it goes down to about H6. Now you're not going to use H6 unless you have a really, really long post, because they should be broken up into sections. So if you have 3 sections in a tutorial, they should probably be 3 H2 headers, right? And then different things below that. So the biggest one is also your H1 usually. Now the size isn't really what matters, except it matters when people start, I want a big font, and then they use an H2, but it's not a header. They're using it in order to change their font. You cannot use these headers to change your font, because they actually signal something important to search engines. So the first point is that we should have some text above our images and at the beginning of our posts. The second point is that we need to use headers intentionally. You can't use them because you like the style, and you can't not use them because you don't like the style. You have to use those headers intentionally, the way they are designed, so that Google sees and it triggers that information that they need. Now, what to do about this design? If you don't like it, you can change the design. And in fact, every time you change a theme, which is probably for most of us every year or two, we change up that theme or the look on our site, then that H2 or H3 or H1 is actually going to change style anyway. So if you change your headers because you like the style, you're going to have to go back and redo everything. So do not use headers as a styling element. They're actually designed to be a specific trigger to tell search engines something about your post. Okay? So, now why were you told to put an H2 above the photograph? Okay. This makes sense if you have a book title. What do you have at the very beginning of the book? You have the chapter title, and that's where the chapter starts. So if you want to have an H2, then it has to be a section title. You can't just take your intro paragraph and wrap it in H2 tags, because now it'll signal. There's signal reasons why you shouldn't do that to search engine, and there's also style reasons why you shouldn't do that. And don't change the styles, and don't change the signals. Like, if everything just is used the way it's supposed to be used, then it'll all work out nicely. And nobody will have to go back and do lots of work in hindsight. I hope that clarifies a little bit. And if you need help, let me know. If you have questions, you can leave them right on this post. I will get a notification and I will come and answer them. Thank you.